Good morning and welcome to Cumulus Cares. I'm your host, Steve Perez, always talking with people making a difference in our community. Now, if you know anybody making a difference in our community, please reach out to me at steve.perez@cumulus.com. Well, this morning we are going to be talking with Girl Scouts. And this morning we're going to be talking with Jody Skenderian. Good morning, Jody. How are you?
Good morning, Steve. I'm fine. Thank you. How are you?
I'm great. Well, thank you for coming and sharing and, of course, bringing some great product into the studio today to share with us. And let's talk about Girl Scouts. How long has Girl Scouts been around?
Wonderful. Thank you. Girl Scouts has been around since 1912. It was founded by Juliet Gordon Lowe, and she was a pioneer and a trailblazer, creating what is now today the world's largest girl-led program for leadership. And she founded Girl Scouts before women even had the right to vote, and her legacy lives on. We are 60 million women and girls strong around the world, and I can't think of a better time for a girl to engage with Girl Scouts to get the leadership skills that will set them up for success in life.
Now, Jody, tell us about Girl Scouts. Like, what is your guys' mission right now for Girl Scouts?
The mission of Girl Scouts is to build girls of courage, confidence, and character who make the world a better place. And we do that through a variety of ways, starting with daisies, girls that are 5 and 6 years old, all the way up through our ambassadors who are juniors and seniors in high school. A girl can actually enter Girl Scouts at any age. Our program really focuses on helping them to discover, connect, and take action on our 4 pillars. And our 4 pillars are entrepreneurship, STEM, life skills, and outdoor. So our 4 pillars are STEM, outdoor, life skills, and entrepreneurship. And at each age level, there are a variety of badges, journeys, and curriculum that supports the specific age level so that girls can experience leadership in a progressive, hands-on way. Girl Scouts progress through the program at each age level, learning new skills that build on the prior year.
That's good. Now, what's the youngest you can start at?
5 years old.
5, okay. And then what's the oldest you can be? I'm sure there's an age limit there.
18.
Oh, really? Okay.
For to be a Girl Scout as a girl, adults are Girl Scout members as well. And that is really a very important piece of the Girl Scout experience, is that Girl Scout troops and Girl Scout service units are really led by an amazing group of volunteers that are adults.
And usually it's like the parents, right, who actually help out as well, or maybe siblings?
Oftentimes it is the parent, but we do have community members that step up to take on an active volunteer role, the troop level, at the administrative level, and at the service unit level, which is the group that oversees the Girl Scout program experience within a community.
There are a lot of Girl Scouts in every different city, every community, like you say. How many Girl Scouts do you think there is out there right now in, just an average? Just within our community, within Ventura, our area here?
Certainly. In Ventura, we have over 7,000 Girl Scouts, including girls and the adult volunteers. So as part of our 6 counties that we serve, Ventura County is actually the largest area that we serve in terms of the number of volunteers and girls.
That's great. Actually, that's great because you know what? Our community comes together, right? When we need to step up to help Girl Scouts and help our community and help our kids, that's what I like to hear.
That's right. And, it's never been more evident than the Thomas Fire and the mudslides in Montecito. We just have had an outpouring of support, not only from our Girl Scouts right here in Ventura, but as far away as Minnesota and Santa Rosa, who was impacted by a fire earlier this year. So Girl Scouts are being true sisters and reaching back and helping our sisters in need.
And they do that. You're right. Like you say, sisters, because that's what they are. They're a kind of a big family, but they have sisters in all different parts of the country who definitely will come together when the time is needed. Hey, we need your help. Can you help us? Or sometimes people just volunteer that help. And one thing about the Girl Scouts, you guys have really a lot of things you guys not just do. I know people think of you as just, cookies, right? It's not just cookies. It's about, like you just said, getting the girls together, showing them leadership, taking them to different places and experiencing, different places within our community, right?
It is that and so much more. And the cookie sale actually powers the experience for girls because while they're earning, they're also learning. And throughout that process of selling cookies, girls have to forecast. They plan and create goals as a troop for what they want to do for the year. And based off what they want to do, they have a budget. And to power that budget, they sell cookies so that they have the funds to do the activities that they choose to do that year.
And I think that's great because, sometimes when I come out of a store or I'll come out of an establishment, they're there with their cookies. And I'm not going to lie, I can't pass over any Girl Scout cookies anytime. They just have to be. And I'm kind of glad that you actually brought some in today. Let's go in and talk about a couple of things. The cookies. You brought in like 4 different types of cookies I see, or 5 maybe. But what's been the longest cookie that you guys been selling for years out of any other box? What is that one?
Well, the most popular cookie that we have had year over year has been the Thin Mints right here. It's the most popular flavor. Last year, s'mores came along. That's our newest cookie. And that actually was a fantastic new addition to our lineup of cookies. And we actually sold so many, we ran out. And the baker had to actually bake more mid-sale. And it created a lot of excitement around the cookie sale, which this year we're going to see growth in our cookie sale, which is exciting because what that means is it's more funds for girls to then reinvest in the community. Because oftentimes those projects that the cookie revenue that the girls earn funds are community service projects. For example, a troop right here in Oxnard last year was able to fund Easter baskets for a local organization of foster youth. And those Easter baskets were not only had goodies for Easter, but things for personal care and hygiene, items that these children didn't have. And so in addition to maybe doing camping activities and archery with the funds, they're able to give back to their community. And we have countless stories across the council where girls are doing that.
I mean, like you just said, they get a little bit of the sales, right, which goes to their kind of troop, right?
Yes, they get about $1 a box.
That's great.
It's fantastic.
That is great. And so the more boxes they sell, the more, like you just say, they budget themselves. They have to make sure what they're selling. But like I say, you got some great cookies. And yeah, last year that s'mores was probably one of my favorite. I'm not going to lie. I probably bought about 5 boxes just because I had never seen that before. That was new to me. I'm like, delicious. Wow, what is this? And I go, all right, I've got to take a few more of these, And and you know what the fun thing is? They can last me about a whole year. This is kind of a trick I've done. I've actually, once I put them in the freezer, done with one box, I grab another box, and it'll last me at least a whole year until the next season comes around because, you only sell. Now, that's another question. What's the season for cookies?
Well, at our council, this year is running from January 26th to March 11th. So you still have 4 more weeks.
Oh, look at that. That's great.
That is. And I would like to just mention that on every box of cookies, we do list what the 5 skills that girls learn through the cookie program are. And they're goal setting, decision making, money management, people skills, and business ethics. And what I'll tell you is, as a former Girl Scout growing up in St. Paul, Minnesota, I sold cookies, and those skills helped me land my first job. I mentioned being a very successful cookie entrepreneur in my resume and cover letter. And when I was interviewing for that position, the person who was interviewing me talked about that particular skill set that I had learned early on and how I was clever enough to leverage it as an adult. And so I share that with our girls. These are skills they will use their entire life. They're transferable. And for any employers out there, I recommend that you ask your female candidates if they were Girl Scouts.
That's a great idea because you know why? It's people skills because they have to sell. You're being a salesperson for Girl Scouts. You're going out there. You have to be able to say, would you like to buy some? I mean, that's pretty much, would you like to buy some cookies? First words. The first thing I ask, what have you got? Some people have a huge wagon full of cookies. Some people have boxes, but you're right. It's a great way because that's a great way of communicating with a one-on-one person, communication skills, I should say. That's always, right. Especially when, like you say, when you go into a job interview, you're able to talk to the person for the first time. And Girl Scouts was able to train them to help them and help you get a job.
That's right. And what I would suggest is when you do have a Girl Scout who knocks on your door, or if you're leaving a grocery store and you see them at a booth, ask them, what are your goals for this year? what is your troop going to do with the money that you're earning? And you'll learn the power of the Girl Scout program by what they share with you.
And how long were you were a Girl Scout? When did you start?
When I was in St. Paul, Minnesota, I was a junior and a cadet. And one of my favorite memories is camping. It was my first foray into camping was through Girl Scouts. My first time horseback riding was with Girl Scouts. And so it allowed me to really explore new areas that I would not have been able to do otherwise.
See, that's a great thing. You had a lot of first times with the Girl Scouts, and I'm sure you made a lot of great friends that within your age and everything too, right?
That's right. Actually, my best friend Donna was a Girl Scout and I wasn't. And she, as I watched her grow through the program, I wanted to be a part of it. And so I used my early negotiation skill set and convinced my mom to let me join. And I, thank her to this day for that, because it's definitely helped shape who I am today.
Now, that's another question. Now, let's say somebody's listening and they have a child who wants to be a Girl Scout. How do they go about it? What can they do?
If someone is interested in Girl Scouts, they can reach out to our council at 1-800-822-2427, or they can go to GSCCC.org. It's important that they talk with one of our representatives so that they can get a better understanding of where the troops are available in their community and what they as a parent can do to spend that quality time on a leadership journey with their daughter.
No, that's great. You definitely want to do that. That's why I was asking, because there are people daughters who might want to join, like, hey, this is great for them, and they feel that this is something that they need for them to maybe break out of the shell a little bit, talk with other kids, and that's a great thing, because like I say, you guys have really a lot of goals, and you guys do a lot of things as much as possible.
We have wonderful day camps throughout the summer as well, and a lot of parents will discover Girl Scouts as they're trying to find healthy activities for their children during the summertime. And so we see a lot of parents reaching out to us in the summer, and then what we find is that they experience Girl Scouts through a summer day camp or an activity that we're making available to the public, and then they're so grateful at the experience for their daughter that they become members and start a troop.
All right, Jody, tell us about volunteers. How does that work?
Well, we couldn't exist without our wonderful volunteers. As I mentioned earlier, we have about 5,000 volunteers up and down the California Central Coast. And as parents look for leadership opportunities for their children, I don't think that they initially realize that it's a leadership journey for them as well. As volunteers, they will get training. They will collaborate with other volunteers to really help provide the Girl Scout leadership experience to the girls in their community, whether it's at a troop or an entire service unit level. And so as they inquire and they learn more about Girl Scouts and they make the decision to perhaps become a member themselves along with their daughter, they'll have the opportunity to go through new leader training. They'll do this with their peers, and oftentimes two parents will collaborate and start a troop at their school. And so they can go through that leadership journey with a friend. And at the end, usually when their daughter is 18, what we find is they stay. They continue to be Girl Scout troop leaders and volunteers even when their girls go off to college.
You know what? Probably because they feel comfortable. It's a place for them that they kind of grew up with. It's kind of like being in a family. You grow up with everybody. I mean, you start small, and later on, you're like you say, you're 18 and you go off to college, and later on, you want to kind of go back a little bit and kind of go back home. And maybe help some of the new Girl Scouts that are up and coming, because Girl Scouts always talk to future Girl Scouts. Maybe that's one person they can talk to, and they feel more comfortable in that.
Yeah, and I think they see the success of the program and how it has positioned their daughter for success in life. And maybe we can talk a little bit about our Girl Scout outcomes. Girl Scouts outpace non-Girl Scouts in a variety of ways. They have a stronger sense of self. They have positive values. They seek challenges and learn from setbacks. They develop and maintain healthy relationships, which is more important today than ever. And they exhibit strong community problem-solving skills. And if you think about problem-solving and critical thinking, those are key skills that employers want. Those are challenges that employers see when they're looking to recruit new members. We also have a really strong pipeline in a lot of career fields for our Girl Scouts. 50% of female business leaders are Girl Scout alum. 80% of tech leaders are Girl Scout alum. 76% of female U.S. senators are Girl Scout alum, and 100% of all secretaries of state are Girl Scout alum. These are amazing statistics.
No, they very are. That is a great statistics right there, because again, you're telling us how everybody who's been a Girl Scout has a great career ahead of them.
That's right. And what we also find is they're more civically engaged. And so by participating in Girl Scouts, we talked about all the community service projects. That's a value that's instilled in our girls. So when they graduate from high school, go on to college, into career, they're continuing to look for ways to give back. In fact, over 75% of our volunteers are Girl Scout alum. Girl Scouts also have higher economic achievement. They have a higher incidence of graduating from college and high school. So I can't think of a better place for any girl in Ventura County to spend their non-school hours.
That's for sure. Now, let's talk about this. Where can we find Girl Scout cookies? I know sometimes people may not know anybody who's a Girl Scout. Like, just say me. All of a sudden, I wanted to buy some. I hear about them. What can we do, or what can I do?
Awesome. You can go to girlscoutcookies.org and enter your zip code, and it'll provide you with a list of where and when cookies are being sold in your area. You can also call 1-800-822-2427, and a representative from Girl Scouts can point you in the right direction. I would say with over 3,500 girls selling Girl Scouts in Ventura County, you're going to have a pretty good chance of seeing one at one of our grocery stores or retail chains. And I do want to say thank you to all of our cookie partners. Year over year, they allow us to set up booths in front of their stores, and we're grateful for it. And as our girls earn and learn, they're really grateful as well.
Well, yeah, that's huge, because again, in front of a business, they're all giving you the opportunity to come and do that too. And that's a great thing, because they don't mind a lot of the heavy traffic that comes in and out a store or anything else. And I'm sure it helps you guys a lot as well.
It certainly does.
And that's a great thing. So definitely look on the website. That'll definitely help you get cookies. If you cannot find them, there's one way of doing it. So we were talking earlier about this, Jody, about a camping area for girls. Tell us about that.
Absolutely. Our council has a 36-acre camp located on the outskirts of Ventura. It's a beautiful 36-acre property with a lodge with a beautiful fireplace, an amazing kitchen for girls to learn to cook. And it has 2 yurts with bunk beds, 2 beautiful cabins with kitchens, showers, and bunk beds, and then lots of room to do tent camping throughout the property. It also has an archery range, hiking trails, lots of just green open space with beautiful trees banked up against Sulphur Mountain Road. And I can't think of a better place to spend my time.
Wow. Now, and the girls get to be a part of it. Do they get to go see this place? I mean, how does that work for them?
Absolutely. It is a program center as well as a campground. So troops and girls are able to rent the facilities. So just like you would go to a campsite and reserve your space, our Camp Arnez allows visitors to rent the cabins and the yurts and the space for tent camping. We also offer program. So most recently, we did a wonderful STEM program with a generous grant from Google, and girls were able to kind of mix outdoor skill sets with STEM, and they were coding and learning to program while at Camp Arnez.
So you guys have so much going on. I tell you, and like I say, and because once cookie season ends, you guys just basically jump into other activities and other forms of things to do and ideas, right?
Correct. So the council does sponsor programs for girls, in addition to the troop leaders and service units providing programming for the girls as well. So any of our members are able to go on our website and look for upcoming events and programs. We actually have one coming up in March at the Moxie Museum in Santa Barbara. We have they're a partner of ours, and we have a patch program where girls can go into the Moxie Museum, and there's wonderful hands-on experiments, and they can leverage what they learn to earn badges and patches at the...
That's great, and that's true, because you see girls who actually have their patches and their badges. Do each one of those mean something when they have them? I don't know. I've seen them, but I don't get the chance to read them. But everybody does have either one or a couple or more.
Yep. Girls at each age level have a uniform, and throughout that age level, we have curriculum, we have textbooks, and activity guides, and the troop leaders have activity guides as well to help guide them through being a leader. And they earn badges, they earn journeys, and they earn patches. And so every Girl Scout vest and sash tells their story. And
that's great.
Yeah, you will find they hang on to those. I still have mine.
Do you really?
I still do. It's in my office. And, there's a horse. I had my first horseback riding experience. I learned how to sew with Girl Scouts, and I learned how to camp. I have a camping badge on my sash. And so those are my memories. And this is, as alumna, we women around the world, we look back on those times, and those are formidable years that help shape who we are. So those are badges of honor.
Yeah, no, they are, because again, you worked hard, blood, sweat, and tears. You worked to get these badges, right?
Yeah, and the highest honor a Girl Scout can earn is the Gold Award, and it's a 7-step process that takes about an entire year, and they map out a plan on their own, setting a goal that benefits the community. So back to our mission of building girls of courage, confidence, and character who make the world a better place. By the time they're a senior in high school, they're able to take on a challenge in an area of interest to them, or overcoming a challenge that they're seeing in their community or world, and deliver on a project. So they create a proposal, they present it to a committee, the committee provides them with feedback. They'll go earn money to execute on this plan, and then they report back at the end of it and present it to the committee, and then they earn their Gold Award. And oftentimes they will take it to the next level and communicate it out to the community. And so we have wonderful Gold Award projects up and down the council. And we're so proud of our girls for taking on these amazing projects in a really difficult part of high school, which is when you're preparing for college applications, and they really learn good time management skills. They keep their grades up.
Now, speaking of college, do people put that on resumes that they were Girl Scouts? I mean, does that help them maybe get into the college? I'm not sure. I know we talked about maybe employers to look at that, but
it's a differentiator, Steve, absolutely. And if girls aren't putting it on their college applications, they should be, and their job applications. And it's a portfolio of work. So Girl Scouts can earn a silver award, a bronze award, and a gold award. Those are all achievements. It's a portfolio that they can apply for scholarships. And we've heard about Girl Scouts getting wonderful scholarships to college, in addition to being admitted to college just based off the differentiator of Girl Scouts. Only 8% of girls in the United States are Girl Scouts. So think about the skill set that those 8% are earning, and the experience that they have delivering on these projects, and the sales skills that they have selling in our council $6 million worth of cookies in a year up and down our council. And so these are young entrepreneurs. There are STEM leaders, there are tech leaders, there are business leaders, there are moms, and there are future volunteers and troop leaders at Girl Scouts.
That's great. Like I say, you guys have some great goals and great girls who work really hard, and they do, because like I say, they're out in the cold, the night, any way that they can sell cookies. Sometimes it's hard during the day for a parent to take their kids out during the daytime, but they have to do it at night, or they can do it with a troop or something, I'm sure, but it takes a lot, I'm sure. Behind
every Girl Scout, there's an amazing family and community helping to support her. My daughter's a Girl Scout, so it's cookies all the time for me right now. And pulling the wagon is how we call it, pulling the wagon. You fill the wagon up with all your products, and you go door to door, and people say no. Okay, people will say no. And so that is just an amazing skill for girls to learn, how to be resilient and say, well, thank you, have a wonderful day, and move on to the next. And being able to learn that at such a young age is priceless.
Yeah, and if they've done it every year, they know, like, okay, there's not going to be a lot of yeses. There will be some no's, but again, majority of the time, there'll probably be yeses. But again, they have to realize there are people who are going to say no.
Yep, and they overcome objections, because we do have programs where you can donate a box of cookies to troops overseas. You can donate a box of cookies to the Children's Hospital of Los Angeles, and you can donate a box of cookies to the first responders who helped us most recently in the Thomas Fire and mudslides.
That is a great idea. That's great that people can do that too. That's awesome. So, Jody, another question for you. What's new and kind of what's have stayed the same with Girl Scouts with all, throughout the years?
Well, after 100 years, over 100 years, what has stayed the same are our time-tested programs that are designed specifically for girls, girl-led. The single-gender environment for girls allows them to thrive in a safe place where they can challenge themselves to try new things as they discover, connect, and take action with the 4 pillars. What's different, what's new and exciting and challenging, so much, Steve. I'm glad you asked the question. Today, I am proud to say that Girl Scouts is the second most trusted brand in the world. That puts us as the first most trusted youth brand in the world. I can't think of a better organization to be serving the girls in our community. Some other exciting new developments at Girl Scouts. This year, the Girl Scouts are able to sell cookies through an app by emailing their family members, and they can track their progress and look at reports, see where they are in their cookie sale. We also have an amazing new technology platform for our volunteers. It's called the Volunteer Toolkit. Also an app where they can go online to a web portal or through their phone, their mobile device, and plan out the Girl Scout meetings in the year. We're trying to do everything we can to make being a volunteer as easy as possible so that they can focus on being with the girls and delivering the program and the leadership experience. We also have new badges in STEM and cybersecurity and cyber safety. I mean, think about all the time and all the hours that our children are on devices. Oftentimes, parents don't even know how to protect their children. So we're teaching our girls how to protect themselves. And these are all exciting new developments at Girl Scouts. There's more to come. It's never been a better time to be a Girl Scout.
That is so great to hear from you, and all these wonderful things I'm hearing is great. So, well, thank you for coming to Cumulus Cares, telling us about Girl Scouts, behind the scenes, a little bit more information that a lot of people may have not known, which was probably about me, which is the same person. But I'm glad you were able to share as much information as you can about behind the scenes, because I know people think of you just for cookies, but you're not just for cookies,
We're so much more.
You are so much more, and that is so great. Thank you so much for coming and spending some time with me. And of course, talking about Girl Scouts and how, again, they've been a big effect in our county.
And thank you, Steve, for giving organizations like Girl Scouts a voice and an opportunity to share this. You give back in so many ways as well.
And I try to do my best to do that. Thank you so much. I'm Steve Perez, your host. We do this called Cumulus Cares every Sunday morning right here on the radio.